It actually snowed in Arizona. I'm only about 20 minutes from my house in Phoenix, and there's snow on the mountains. Actually, I just drove through an area where there was a lot of snow even on the ground. Driving through a little bit of it is pretty cool. So today we're gonna take a little spin around, check out all the snow in Phoenix, and we're also gonna talk about this new jacket I'm wearing, the Klim Dakar. Stick around. I was so excited about the snow, I forgot to do this part. So, what's up everybody? I'm Tim and this is my channel, 40 Times Around, where we talk about everything related to motorcycles, camping, travel, and adventure. So, like I said, it actually snowed in Arizona. I'm totally blown away. I shouldn't say Arizona, it snows all the time in Flagstaff, but it actually snowed in Phoenix and it's pretty wild. It's absolutely beautiful. It's making these mountains just look so majestic and so beautiful. Really adds a certain element to mountains to see them snow-capped like this. And right here where I am, it's kind of just a dusting where I was earlier. I mean, it is like full-on snow. People are sledding in Cave Creek, Arizona. It's pretty bizarre to see. So we're gonna take a little spin around, check out some of the snow, and while we're kind of looking at the scenery, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this jacket, the Klim Dakar. So to start off, this jacket is ranging from about $250 to $280. It comes in three colors. There's a black, a gray, and this color I decided on was the tan color. I kind of like the way this one looks. I would say this jacket fits as expected. I like it with a little room to layer underneath. I actually wear this windproof jacket from North Face that's just kind of rounds this jacket out and kind of carries me into some cooler temps from what I've seen so far. And obviously I'm getting an opportunity to kind of test it out in some colder temperatures. What you can see here right now, it's actually about 55 degrees, but as the sun started going down, it got into the mid 30s, and actually even without the red liner, I was still pretty good, just the jacket alone. It was still pretty warm in the mid 30s, which I was a little surprised with because this jacket has excellent ventilation. Now I also have this green thermal I wear sometimes, then I'll put the red jacket on over that, and then the regular Klim riding jacket. I also have a separate rain layer that I would use if I needed, and I think I actually got a few questions about that, how I felt about layering. I think layering is absolutely crucial and kind of necessary when you're traveling on a motorcycle. Having just one piece of equipment that can do it all doesn't really exist, so layering is kind of your best option. The main shell is 600D, and there's actually a carbonite micro mesh in the stretch zones and a carbonite ripstop at the shoulders and elbows. Those are kind of your impact zones. And actually one thing I kind of like about this is you can zip the sleeves off, so it's a modular jacket. And I went ahead and I got some just standalone elbow pads, so if I'm off-roading, if it's really hot out, I could lose the sleeves, maybe just a long sleeve shirt, the elbow pads, and be protected but still also be kind of staying cool on the trails. I probably wouldn't do that on the pavement though. Now you can actually put the zip off sleeves right in the back pocket, a little rabbit pouch. One thing to note about this jacket is that it doesn't come with any protective armor. There are slots for a back pad, which I added. There are spots for shoulder pads and also elbow pads, but like I said, I'm doing standalone elbow pads. There is some 3M Scotch Light reflective material, which definitely helps with visibility at night. A few more features to mention: there's two large adjustable wrist vents. Those are pretty neat, definitely allow some pretty decent airflow. There's also two bicep vents, two sleeve hole vents, two rear exhaust vents. There's two chest pockets, two hand pockets, which I actually really like. My old jacket didn't have anywhere for me to put my hands, so if I got off the bike and it was a little bit cool, and I just wanted to keep my hands warm off the bike, those little hand pockets come in really handy, and I actually really like that feature. So the bottom line is, I'm pretty happy with this jacket so far. It feels very durable, very well made. One thing I will say, the zipper tends to get a little snagged right at the collar. I think it's just from the change in shape of the jacket. The zipper itself is actually really well made. There's just this odd spot where the zipper just tends to get stuck. Not even really stuck, it just kind of stalls in this one spot. The only other thing I'm not crazy about, and this is kind of a thing Klim has with most of their gear, is they're just really heavy-handed with the branding. And I could really do without that. I feel like they could be a little more subtle about it. Not that I'm not proud to be wearing Klim gear, but it's a little over the top and I kind of feel like I'm a walking billboard. And the only other complaint I have about this jacket, and it's really not a big deal, but as I mentioned in my video about riding pants, I really like cinches and ways to kind of adjust and custom fit gear. There really isn't much I can do to change the shape of this jacket. I would like some cinches on the arms, just because if I'm not layering and it's just kind of warm out and I'm wearing a t-shirt under it, I'd like to be able to pull the sleeves a little tighter and maybe even around the waist. For the price, you can't really expect too much, and it is a really great value for what it is. I'm just kind of being a little nitpicky with the wanting cinches and all of that. Overall, like I said, super happy with this jacket so far. Can't wait to hit the road this summer with this jacket and see how it works out for some long-term use. So I did want to answer a question I got from a few people on my recent video when I talked about the Klim Dakar pants, the matching pants to this jacket. And that question was, do black pants or black gear, do they attract more heat when I'm riding in the hot summer days of Arizona? And to answer that question, and this is really just for me personally, I don't know about the science behind it, but as long as I'm moving, I really don't feel any extra heat with black gear as opposed to lighter colored gear. I have tried both. That is if you're moving. If you stop and you're just hanging out in the sun with no wind blowing, you're definitely going to feel a difference in that situation. So what I would recommend is with your pants or even your jacket is that you just dress in layers. I usually will wear shorts underneath these pants, so when I get off the bike, if I'm just hanging out or walking around a little bit, I'll just strip down to the shorts, throw my sneakers on, and I'm nice and cool, and I can kind of air out a little bit. It's a tricky thing because most motorcycle gear is going to tend to be black and just darker colors. It just seems to come with the nature of the territory, so it's really hard to find light colored gear. And another thing, I actually prefer the darker colors because they don't show the dirt quite as much, the dirt and road grime, and so for me black is just more functional. And I definitely don't feel a negative effect when I'm riding in the heat. So I definitely wouldn't worry too much about that as long as you're moving. So I hope that answers that question for you guys. It was, I think I saw it at least 4 or 5 times in the comments on that video, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Anyways, that wraps up this video, this quick review of the Klim Dakar jacket. I'll go ahead and leave a link down below if you guys want to check out that jacket. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I will definitely be doing a long-term use review of this jacket in another couple months once I've had a chance to really dive into the features and really put it through its paces. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. That way you don't miss anything whenever I post something new about motorcycles, camping, travel, and adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.